We are now ready to duplicate the windows and the AC units. Let's go ahead and delete all the faces where the windows are going to go. Switch over to face component mode and go around the building, deleting the faces for all the windows. Let's lower this window to closed position so it's easier to duplicate, and then we'll raise it back up when we're done. So set translate Y back down to 0. Then select the main window and the movable windows. Press Ctrl D to duplicate. Hold X to snap to the grid and move it into place. We're going to take care of this window at the very end. Let's come over here to the side, grab the single window and the bottom movable window. Ctrl D to duplicate and move it, snapping it into place. So we're going to repeat this for all of our windows around the building. Make sure you are selecting both the main frame and the movable window, and make sure you are snapping it to the grid so it is positioned exactly inside the templated window, the carved out part. Here in the back we have 3 single windows, and then here on the side we have 3 small windows and 1 single window. So you can see how important it was for us to stay on the grid and to UV these objects, which saved us a lot of time, and it makes this process of duplicating and positioning these windows quick and easy. Let's take a look around to make sure we got all the windows. And now let's address the double window in the front. I'm gonna grab this double window and 2 movable windows, duplicate them, and move them over. We can't snap this to the grid because this opening is not on the grid, so we have to snap to a vertex. Hold down V, middle mouse click and drag, and snap this window right into the opening, into the bottom left corner vertex. Let's begin to rotate and get it close enough to where it's lining up with the other side. But we need to be more precise. So let's go into top view and make sure that the edges between the window and the window opening are aligned. So we'll make it easier for us to merge the vertices and combine the window with the building when we're ready to do so. We need to manually input the rotation value. So I had to try a few variations, and the number that I came down to is 35.707. Your value may differ based on the angle of the building. So now we have all of the windows positioned, and let's begin to duplicate the AC units. Select the AC and let's enable the template so we know where we need to duplicate it to. Then press Ctrl D to duplicate, move it into position, and snap to the vertex that is at the bottom and in the middle of the double window. This will snap the AC unit perfectly into the second window. Let's duplicate again and snap this AC unit to the middle bottom vertex of the angled window. And then we need to rotate this AC unit the same amount as we did the double window, which is at 35.707. And it will fit perfectly into position for the double window. We have no AC units here on the side, but we do have one here in the back. So let's go ahead and duplicate one from the front, rotate it 180 degrees, and position it into place. And last, we just have one more side to do. There are 2 AC units here, so we're just going to take one, duplicate, rotate, and position into place. There's one here for the single window, and one here for the double window. Now let's go around and raise all the windows that have an AC unit in them. We're going to set translate Y to 40. Next, we're going to raise some of these windows up to open position. Some of them will stay closed and some will be open. This will add some uniqueness and variety. It also adds a human element and makes this building more believable. So I'm going to raise the small window up on the side. In the front, we'll keep these closed, but this window at an angle, we're going to open. Then here on this side, we'll open 2 small windows and the rest will be closed. And in the back, we'll keep everything closed. So it's up to you to decide which windows you want to have open and which you want to keep closed. We now have a slight problem with few interiors overlapping. So let's go ahead and fix that. We want to disable preserve UVs because for these interiors, IUVs and their distortion is not that important. The player is not going to see them up close. So we need to go around and move the faces of the geometry that is overlapping. So I'm just going to go around and fix this issue. I also have the UV editor open to keep an eye out on the UVs. I still want to maintain the same overlap so all the interiors still share the exact same UV space. And we just want to move overlapping geometry. Let's go ahead and take a look around and do a final check. So we have all the windows in place. All the windows that need to be raised to have an AC unit are up. And everything looks good. Let's do a test inside the engine. Select everything and export. I'm going to use the same options as before and overwrite our Miami Corner Store FBX. Let's re-import. Inside the content browser, select the static mesh, right click and choose re-import. And let's fly around and do a quality check. And everything looks good. There's no issues, no missing faces, no gaps. We might want to jump in inside the map and take a look from player's point of view and run around our building to double check. I'm going to go back to Maya LT and make minor adjustments by raising some of these windows to be opened a little bit more. And at this point we are done with our windows and our AC units.